Welcome in to Money Shots. We are live. We have, unfortunately, I don't know how to change the name in Kelly in Vegas's box. She's not here today, but we have the wonderful Stephen Che, the best bettor in the company. Kelly might think that she should be there, but technically, Stephen Che. Just joking, Kelly. And special guest. Never done anything with him before, so I'm super excited to have him on. Big man on basketball, killing the game. Also, if you're into true crime, the guy that could potentially solve any murder that's out right now. Is there a serial killer in New Orleans? I saw a TikTok about that. We can talk about that.
It seems like there's a serial killer in every city, but not that I know of. But
It's
maybe
just
I'll have to look
he's
into
a
it.
sharpshooter. I'm not real sure, but welcome in, Nadu. How are we feeling today?
I'm doing great. It's good to be on with you, Megan. I've done little things with Stephen Che, but I don't think I've ever done a show with Stephen Che. And I want to get to know some of his NBA props. I have an NBA play tonight as well that I'm looking forward to talking about. So looking forward to it. Thank you for having me.
Well, actually, Stephen, you did say that one of your plays is at 3 o'clock, so it's starting right now. Is that accurate? Because, you are East Coast. I'm Central Time. Let's go ahead and start with the NBA so that you can kind of get those out because, you've been killing them. The record over time is just absolutely fantastic. You said you had a rough day yesterday. Was that accurate? We got to keep ourselves honest here. So I had an awful day. So, we're paddling the same canoe.
Yeah, I'll give that out in a moment. If anyone wants to get in the pick for the 3 o'clock game, it's in Paris right now. It's the Bulls against the Pistons. I like Killian Hayes. He is the point guard for the Detroit Pistons. He is from France, so I think they're going to feature him. I like his over 13.5 points. It's gone up as high as 15.5. I would prefer his combo unit, 24.5 over combined points, rebounds, and assists, or over 3-pointers, 1.5 at even money. If it gets up, I wouldn't go over 14.5. But that's my play today. Last night, yes, I had the worst bet of my season so far. It was Miles Turner over 17.5 points. He was the tallest guy on the floor, but the guy guarding him was 4 inches short of them. He was a guard forward, Kenny Kenrich Williams. And he didn't get a single post entry the entire first half. So he had 3 points in the first half. He finished with 7 points. Didn't play the fourth quarter because the Pacers got blown out. It was just a miserable, miserable watch. And I am genuinely sorry for anyone that bet it. I hate the Pacers coaching staff now.
Jeff Nadeau, do you have anything to counter? How was your night? Did you have anything? How did it go? Did anything go your way? Because again, both Steven and I did not have the best of nights.
Yeah, I would say it went my way. Missouri, it was nice that they came back and beat Arkansas.
That last 5 minutes, I had my asshole tight. If I'm just going to be frank.
Same. It was a nice comeback. I'll give them that. Yeah, I kind of just try to water, kind of won one, lost one, won one, lost one. But I will say, and I wanted to see what Steven thinks. I love Portland tonight. Portland Trailblazers tonight. I was sick that I didn't get the first number here. I think it was 3 at one point. It's down to 2. I'm even seeing 1.5. I think at Barstool Sports it's 2. Listen, Portland sucks on the road, but they're pretty good at home. I think they've covered 8 of 10 at home. I know as a Sixer guy, this is a team that struggles on the road occasionally. I bet against them on Sunday night against the Lakers. I was able to get in with that one. I like Portland. I know their win-loss, they're kind of 500, but to me, look, I've said before, I don't really care much about the players or anything like that. I look at the line, and this number is going down. We know Philly's going to be a public side. I like Portland at home. I think they're a good home team, and I'm willing to back them against a team I don't like on the road.
Steven, you know that I have little to no NBA knowledge, so I'm going to need you to go ahead and tell Nadeau what you think about that.
Yeah, the Sixers have gotten pretty fortunate the past couple of days. As far as I typically don't bet teams. The NBA can go so sideways as far as point totals. You can have there was a game earlier in the season. It was Nets Raptors, and somebody gave me a pick, and it was like Raptors third quarter, and the Nets started out, not even joking, on a 20-2 run, I think, to start the quarter, and then the Raptors countered with a 23-4 run right after that. And the Nets ended up winning the quarter, but it was those types of swings can be so wild in the NBA. If it's that close, I would honestly, if it's a 1.5 point spread, I would much rather go money line.
Sure.
and just pay the juice. But yeah, I mean, Portland is a team, especially Anthony Simons has much better splits at home. And they match up well with Philly. Nurkic against, I mean, nobody's going to match up well against Embiid, but Nurkic at least has the size to compete with him. And then across Justice Winslow is out. I would pay attention to that. He's not a starter, but like a key guy that could be put on James Harden. Just something to watch. And Damian Lillard always seems to step up when like big competition comes around. And I would classify like James Harden, Joel Embiid, obviously Tyrese Maxey is big competition. So that's something I'd watch for. So yeah, I definitely don't mind the Blazers pick there.
All right, Steven, you have any other NBA you want to give out tonight before we move on to the NFL?
I'll give it a couple leans. One that I would watch specifically is Ben Simmons assists. We bet this the other night. Over 7.5 assists. Kyrie Irving is playing tonight. He had 11 assists the other night without Kyrie, without Durant, and Durant's obviously hurt. In his only game with Durant hurt, he had, I believe it was 12 or 13 assists. So 7.5 feels pretty low. I mean, Kyrie is definitely going to handle the ball a lot, but Ben Simmons is a secondary distributor. I still think 7.5 is a pretty low number. The other one, so that's a lean. Another one I'd give out, and it's one I've monitored for a little bit, is Fred VanVleet, who's the point guard for the Raptors, over 4.5 rebounds. He's cleared this number in, I believe, 8 straight games, and done it pretty handily. So
would you be scared for some regression? I always get scared whenever I look at numbers like that.
Yeah, certainly. Like, I think last game he had like 9 boards. I hate, like, the worst prop to bet on is rebounds, especially for a guard, because if, like, not only are you depending on the other team missing shots, you're typically needing them to miss like long shots. So, and like the bounces to just kind of go the right way, but they've gone the right way so many times in a row, and he's cleared it by such a healthy margin. They're going against the Timberwolves tonight. I kind of like that as well. Rudy Gobert is probably not going to play. So I kind of like that. It's just going to be like a shitty one to kind of root for the whole game. So those would be my 2 leans for tonight. The big games, Boston, Golden State, finals rematch. Those lines are really sharp. We don't know right now if Jaylen Brown is playing, which is going to affect a lot of lines. If he doesn't, like Jason Tatum, definitely take a look at his numbers, especially assists. But I'm staying away from that one right now just because I think those are so sharp.
Nay, do you have anything else you want to add in the NBA before we move on to?
No, I'm pretty picky choosy. I don't bet the NBA every night. And as Steven said, I mean, it's a volatile, a lot of variant-based type of league. So, things go crazy. I just kind of try to find a spot every once in a while that I like. And Portland kind of came up on my radar.
It's definitely respectable because I'm not very picky choosy, but I'm picky choosy about not betting the NBA because I'm not fucking good at it. All right, so let's move on to the big games, which the first one we'll talk about is the Jags at the Chiefs. I already said earlier, Kelly would kill me if she was here because I don't listen to the rules. So I did not take a traditional long teaser here. I did what I want because that's what I do. So I teased the Chiefs down to 2.5, and I teased the Eagles down to 1.5, 6-point teaser. Because I don't want to lay it with the Chiefs, even though I do love Mahomes. And with the Eagles, I feel like they should be able to get it done over the Giants. I feel like the whole world is going to be on the Giants. I mean, whenever I looked at all these numbers at first, all of the underdogs looked appealing to me. Che, I know you're going to have some props in this first game. Let's go ahead and start with you and get them out hot.
Yeah, I would, if I had a lean in the team and the spread, 9 points seems like a lot, especially Kansas City, a team that typically doesn't cover by a ton.
But they're great off a bye.
Yeah, the rest versus rust thing for sure. The prop I like in this game, it's a high number. It's Travis Kelce over 79.5 receiving yards. Jacksonville gives up the 4th most yards to tight ends. Kelce has been 95 plus yards in 6 straight playoff games. I mean, it's money time. He's their money player. They're going to go to him. 79.5. I know it's a high number, especially for a tight end. He is the best tight end. But I think you go over the 79.5.
I like that. I mean, if I did, I could do a little parlay plus, throw that in there, lower the Chiefs money line, or not money line, but lower the Chiefs maybe to 2.5, and then maybe throw another prop in there. I love a good parlay plus. All right, Jeff, what do you got in this game?
And I always, whenever I do a show with someone, I always gauge pretty quickly if they know what they're doing in any of this. And it seems very quickly that Stephen Shea is very astute, because anyone that knows anything about NFL handicapping is that the Kansas City Chiefs are not a good favorite. This is not just a one-year thing. They've not been a good favorite for several years, quite frankly. And he's right. They don't win by much. They've won 9 of their last 10. No one's surprised by that. But you know what they are over the llast 10 against the spread as a favorite? 3-7. They don't cover numbers. And again, this is a long-term thing. Now, you said they're off a bye, which that's a good point. But the Jags, they just kind of seem like destiny, if you will. I don't know if they're going to win this game. In fact, I don't think they are going to win this game, but I get the feeling they're going to put up quite a fight here. We saw them put up a major fight, didn't quit the other night. What were they down? 27-0 at one point. They can move the football. I kind of like the over a bit in this game. I think
if there's a shootout, it's going to be this one.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I don't like betting against Mahomes. I think it's I'm kind of going against what I just said, but if you're going to give me 9.5 towards double digits, I'm going to lean on Jacksonville as well. I think defensively they're good enough and they can move the football and they don't give up. They're never out of a game.
All right, Che, anything else on that game before we move out?
No, as far as the KC Jacksonville game, those are my only 2 plays.
All right, up next we have the Giants and Eagles, and as I said, it's not Wong, so it's probably wrong, but I don't care. I tease the Eagles down minus the 1.5. And again, everyone feels like they're on the Giants, and respectfully so. I mean, this team is just so incredibly gritty. And, Daniel Jones just coming out of, I don't want to say nowhere, but I was not expecting to say some of these names that I've been saying this late in the NFL season. As I said, I don't want to lay the 7.5 with the Eagles, especially when they kind of looked like they were trending down with Jalen Hurts kind of banged up. But the Giants are kind of the hungry dogs that are out for blood and just like keep on keeping on. But I still think the Eagles pull it out, which is why I have the minus the 1.5 here. But if I had to take just a straight up spread, I would probably take with the world the Giants plus the 7.5. Nadu, let's start with you and see what you like in this game, and then we'll kick it back up to Che as far as props.
Yeah, I mean, I think I obviously understand why, a lot of the bets that have come in earlier on the Giants. I mean, I think this number to me, it seemed a bit high. They are 14-4 against the spread, one of the best in football.
Are you a Philly guy?
I am. I'll be at the game. I'm diehard. So, yeah, but then again, I look at it and I know the utter fucking domination the Eagles have had against this team in this building. In fact, they just don't win there very much. And that's something you can't negate away from. Also, keep in mind, when both teams are fully healthy in the first game, Eagles dropped 48. Okay, it was child's play against the Giants in the first game. Now, the second game was a little different. And as Steven knows, I mean, there were some injuries. Lane Johnson's back for the Eagles. That's huge for the offensive line. You have a somewhat, in fact, mostly healthy Jalen Hurts, as far as I know. And defensively, they could get Avonte Maddox back. The Eagles are about as close to fully healthy as you can get. Knock on wood going into the playoffs. That said, again, like the previous game we discussed, this is a plucky dog. This is one that I would probably lean on the over as well. I think the Giants obviously are going to have to match Philadelphia from an offensive standpoint. We know they can run the ball. Eagles have had trouble at run defense occasion this year. 48.5 seemed a bit low. I'll be, again, there. I don't really have any interest in betting the game. I'm just hoping for the Eagles to win.
And hopefully they do, because I got minus the 1.5. All right, Che, what you got in this game?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of 2 things. I like the Giants. It's just too many points, 7.5. I understand what Nadu is saying with, the first game they put up 48. It's really hard to beat a division rival 3 times in a season. And I understand, health and all that stuff. I just think the Giants are primed to cover the spread. I do like, and Jack Mack put out a video on it earlier, and a lot of the social guys are on this, is Boston Scott to score a touchdown. I mean, he's done it every game he's played the Giants. 8 for 8. Yes, Coach Sav. He's got 10 touchdowns against the Giants, and he's not even the starting running back. He'll be a rotational guy. But Nick Sirianni, if you're near the goal line, how do you not put this mental advantage guy in? I think that's great value. The other ones I'd look at for this game, Saquon Barkley, over 4.5 catches. He had I believe he had 5 or 6 catches last week. The season's going to be online. The Eagles corners are so good. I think that they're going to need to look to short checkdowns, and Barkley is going to be that safety option. It's a little bit of a high number. I would definitely not go to 5.5, but Saquon Barkley over 4.5 catches is one I can get down with.
I will say
Darius Slayton over 3.5 catches.
Real quick, it is odd how good he is against the Giants at Boston Scott, because Steven's right. I mean, he's the third option on this team. I mean, Gainwell and Sanders are way ahead of him, and he just, for whatever reason, has this game every time they play the Giants. So, yeah, that could be a great bet.
All right, let's move on to the game that I'm most excited about, because it's the one that I have the most heart for, which is going to be the Bengals at the Bills. You guys know I'm a Joe Burrow girl through and through. I'm a Jamar Chase girl through and through. Just saw a nice little meme that they put up. They're like bread and butter. They got each other no matter what. I like the 5.5 here, and that's no disrespect to the Bills, but I like Joe Burrow over Josh Allen. I think he's a more dependable quarterback. I know that they have like 3 O-linemen out, so Joe might have to use his little leggies more than he has been, which hopefully he stays healthy. Please, Joe. But I'm on the Bengals plus the 5.5. I'm also going to sprinkle some on the money line because I also took them to win the Super Bowl, so I would like for them to win this game. Let's start with you, Che. What props do you like? Because it usually makes me feel better about what side I'm taking.
So all of the lines are not out for this game. One I would look to when it comes out is Jamar Chase over catches, not necessarily over yards. He's just a target machine. He's gotten at least 7 catches in 9 straight games, I believe. So if that number's at 6.5, I would certainly take it. 7.5, I would even consider it as well. He's obviously just Joe Burrow's guy. I want to root for the over in this game. I don't know that it's going to happen, but from a betting perspective, I'm probably going to tease the line down and play with some things there. But I'm hoping for a shootout that everyone wants, and if so, certainly the over 1.5 passing touchdowns for both guys, Josh Allen and Joe Burrow, are certainly going to be very appealing.
Would you parlay that?
Always.
All right. I just curious. All right. Nate, I have a feeling you're going to be on the Bills here. Don't know why, but it just feels. Oh no.
I didn't understand this number much. I don't see 5 points difference between these two teams. I see a field goal, and I know you're going to give them a little credence because they're at home. But like the Chiefs, another team that struggled laying points is the Bills. It seems like every game they play in is conceivably pretty close. And I know we want to buy into the fact that they have this special juju, and they've been through a lot of stuff this year, and you want to root for them as kind of just a fan of the NFL. But I picked the Bengals to win the Super Bowl before the season. I'm happy with how they played, kind of coming under the stretch here. I think offensively they're right there with the Bills. I don't think we give this team enough credit on the defensive end as well. They're very solid. We might not be able to kind of identify a lot of players in this defense, but the truth is they're damn good. I have every belief they can go in there and win the game. If you're going to give me 5.5, I'd put the number 3.5, maybe 4. If you're going to give me 5.5, I'll definitely grab a team that's covered 8 of 10 on the road. Give me the Bengals. I think they can win. I think they win the game.
Let's go. I love that, because with my Bengals future riding as well, we can definitely shake hands and be on the same team there. All right, last game, and then we can get out quickly our college basketball picks, because I do have a child to go pick up from school, which is the Cowboys at the Niners. Looking at this, you get the Cowboys +4. You have Brock Purdy, who, is just rising to stardom as a third-string quarterback, essentially. And then you have Dak Prescott, who missed a lot of the years that he's played and threw a lot of picks in the time that he was in this year, but then looked like a fucking god last game out. I don't like the Cowboys +4. I hate to say it. Che, let's start with you.
So the prop that I'm looking for is not out yet, but I'm going to look at it very closely when it does come out, and it is Deebo Samuel over combined rushing and receiving. In the playoffs last year especially, they ran him a lot. Last week, I believe he had a couple carries, and I think he had like 32 yards. 3 carries, 32 yards, and then 9 targets, 6 catches, 133. I realized one of those was a long one, but Deebo Samuel combined rushing and receiving yards, I think, can give you a pretty good value. and also just like kind of diversify your ability to get yards. So that's the one I'd be looking at. Still waiting for that one to come out. Christian McCaffrey over rushing yards, not necessarily combined, is one I'd look at too, but waiting for those to really solidify.
All right, Jeffrey Nadeau. It is Jeffrey, right?
Yeah, it is. I'll shorten this one. This is one where I didn't have much. I for whatever reason, I always think to the conspiracy theory, Nadeau, that they're going to try to wiggle out the Cowboys Eagles somehow here. But it's hard for me to play against the Niners. They're so complete on both sides. They're the one team that worries me if I'm an Eagle fan. Them coming into Philadelphia, the defense is fierce. Maybe this is the only one I lean under in. You know, I think this could be a first to 20 wins type of game. Though the Cowboys, and I hate to say it, they look good against the Bucks, but they did allow yards. I mean, Tom Brady moved the ball, even though it was a garbage time type of game. I didn't have much in this one. I'll kind of just maybe tail Steven with a prop or two.
All right, sounds good.
One other thing, sorry, really quickly on Debo. Last year against Dallas, 10 carries, just 3 catches. So that's also why I like the combined rushing and receiving.
Yeah, I'm terrified of the Niners. It's not like that's why I said I hate to say I like the Cowboys plus the 4. But if Dak does have a game like he had last time and Brock Purdy sees some regression, even though he does have every single weapon he needs, imagine if like Mahomes was like behind that team, just being able to I just feel like Brock Purdy is able to make that team look really, really good. All right, before we get out of here, real quick, Nadeau, do you have any college basketball picks you want to throw out tonight? And Che, of course, if there's anything else you want to throw out as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'll always kind of lend to this team anytime they play. One of the best offenses in America nobody talks about is Youngstown State. The Penguins, they have one of the best offenses you'll find, 85 a game. Tonight they're playing one of the worst teams in America, the Green Bay Phoenix, a team who, in I'm sure the way Stephen Che would look at it, Green Bay allows you to run whatever tempo you want to run, and that's concerning against a team like Youngstown who will just kind of take the transition that they're given. I think they surely get into the 80s here. Green Bay is a bad, bad basketball team. They can't defend a fucking lick. I think Youngstown gets surely to 85 into their season average. Team total is only 80.5. I'm going to gladly play it. This is an auto bet for me. Give me Youngstown team total over. I don't love them defensively, so I'll stay away from the side, but I think they score themselves.
And is that like is that the Nadeau?
That would be if I were doing
tonight.
Yeah, if I were doing a play on your space or something, that would be a little gem I'd throw out to you.
All right, absolutely. Perfect. Chet, anything else from you?
Go buy a Trust the Data hat. Plays on right now. Killian Hayes over 13.5 points. And I got to ask before we go, now, dude, do you have a light in that room?
Yes, I do. I got to get a better bulb. It's fucking cloudy here too. Usually I have the sun bearing.
Just laps.
I deal with that too. Real quick before we leave, I'm on Cleveland State plus the 4.5, James Madison money line, UNC Wilmington plus the 3, Marshall minus the 5.5, and Oral Roberts minus the 6.5. And if I could have just a better day than yesterday, that would be fantastic. Thank you all so much for joining me, Nadeau. It was fantastic to finally hop on with you. Maybe one day I can hop on Big Man on Basketball. Absolutely. I don't have to go pick up these wonderful children. Che, thank you as always for coming in and letting us trust your data.
Thanks.
We'll be back Monday.
Cool. See you guys.